Good afternoon. Police and politicians fudge the issue for fear of not being politically correct. But until they accept violent crime is being carried out by imported gangs, they won't be able to tackle it. Sweden is under assault, with its residents enduring frequent bombings, hand grenade attacks, murders and shootings. Last year there were 257 bomb attacks, following 162 the year before. That with a population of just 10 million. That would be the equivalent of more than 1,600 bomb attacks carried out in the UK. Almost none of these incidents was motivated by terrorism. So how has one of the previously most peaceful and liberal countries in the world been turned into such a den of criminal depravity? And why have the authorities allowed this to descend into anarchy? The truth is that, all too often, the Swedish police and politicians refuse to deal with the real reasons these gangs go on, because the perpetrators are not indigenous Swedes. The attacks are almost always part of ongoing feuds between criminal gangs that are fighting over drugs and territory. These gangs are principally made up of Somali immigrants with others from the Middle East. They all bring a culture of extreme violence and misogyny from their war-torn homelands. They've turned parts of the country into no-go zones for the police and places of fear for those of Swedish heritage and other law-abiding immigrants. There are poorer areas of the city, Stockholm and Malmö, where bombings and other examples of extreme violence are now accepted as part of everyday life. Masked and armed men recently set up roadblocks to control cars entering certain neighborhoods in Gothenburg. In one horrific incident last month in Botkyrka, south of Stockholm, a 12-year-old girl walking her dog was shot dead, having been caught in the crossfire during a battle between rival gangs. Her friends later explained that shootings were an everyday experience for them, with one saying she heard gunfire from her bedroom window almost every night. Rapes and attacks on women, particularly on indigenous females, continue to grow. Almost every day, people simply going about their business are surrounded by gangs of young male immigrants and attacked for what appears to be little more than being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But no one says anything about who's carrying out the crimes. Even the police won't speak openly, and many politicians are in denial. Such incidents are changing the face of Stockholm and once peaceful Malmö. I've been to Malmö. It's a lovely old traditional European city with some beautiful buildings that remain unscattered because Sweden avoided or being drawn into the two world wars. However, given what I see going on there now, I don't think I'll be going back there as a tourist anytime soon. So how has something as awful as this been allowed to happen? The answer is simple. Whilst it's a fine thing to be liberal, that's only true if you don't allow your values to be clouded by naivety and an unwillingness to question your belief in the face of overwhelming evidence. Sadly, this is exactly what's been going on in Sweden for a long time. In short, because all these dreadful bomb attacks are being carried out by immigrants from war-torn areas whom the benevolent Swedes had welcomed into the country, no one would face the facts that the very people they tried to help had among them many dangerous and violent criminals who presents a real threat to residents of whatever country. Thank you for listening, guys.